the music.
We got the offense, we got the defense. We give the other team no hope, 'cause we're the Houston Oilers.
You're going to sing that,
You
Charlie?
can tell that it's the playoffs in the Astrodome. The score at halftime is Houston 10 and Denver 7. And when we look forward to the second half of this ball game, the one thing that you might just file away in the back of your mind would be the team in this kind of a ball game, a very physical ball game, a very defensive ball game, and a very close ball game, is the team that makes the fewest mistakes in the second half will be the team that wins.
That is the name of the game, Charlie, and it's been very close in the first half. Both teams have made mistakes. I look back to the penalty that Tom Jackson got for hitting above the shoulder pads. An additional 15 yards has put Houston in pretty good field position and enabled them to get down close, and they eventually got in with Earl Campbell going into the end zone for the touchdown. But you get situations like this, particularly the kicking games. You can't afford penalties and you can't afford mistakes.
Tony Fritsch will start the second half by kicking it off. Let me also mention something to file away in your memory bank. Should we end in a tie, of course, we go into overtime. But now we're in the playoffs, and that means that we will play, if we get to overtime, until there is a winner. Dave Preston is the deep back on the return for the Denver Broncos.
Talking about the noise of the crowd, they've come alive now. The only way that Denver can quiet that noise is to move that football and put points on the scoreboard.
And the second half is underway. 10-yard line, Dave Preston. Preston to the 20, the 25, Preston to the 30, Preston to the 32-yard line. 22 yards on the return. Jeff Groth makes the tackle for the Houston Oilers. The offensive set for the Denver Broncos. Greg Morton is the quarterback. They will open with Otis Armstrong and Jim Jensen as the two running backs. Haven Moses is in as one wide receiver. He comes to the near side. Riley Odoms is in as a tight end. Steve Watson is the other receiver. Play action. Morton's pass is complete. Armstrong out of the backfield is pushed out of bounds by Robert Brazile.
You know that offensive line, Charlie, looking now that it's good news for the Denver Broncos because both Claudia Minor, number 71, Dave Studdert, number 70, they left the ball game because of injuries in the first half. They are back in, along with 64 Bryant. The guards are Howard and Classic.
Defensively, it's Andy Doris, Curly Culp, and Elvin Bethea, the front three. Ted Washington, Art Stringer, Greg Bingham, and Robert Brazile, the linebackers. Wilson, Stimrick, Perry, and Reinfeldt in the secondary. This may be the first down. Let's see where the momentum carries. Let me have your attention. Earl Campbell has a groin injury and will not play in the second half. The Houston Oilers will have to do it without Earl Campbell.
That means that defensive unit on the field right now, they better tighten up that chin strap because they're going to have their work cut out for them.
It's a first down at the 43-yard line. Morton play action. He is sacked. Second sack of the ball game for the Oilers. Ted Washington and Andy Doris got him. They'll drop him at the 36-yard line, a loss of 7 yards.
Credit that secondary for fine coverage because play action pass, you see Morton faking to Otis Armstrong. He steps up. That is ordinarily enough time to get the ball off, but the coverage was good in the secondary. He had no one to throw the football to before being down by that man, Ted Washington, number 59, a linebacker, but he does a lot of blitzing for this Houston team. One of the reasons is he weighs about 250 pounds.
Second down, 17. Upchurch is in as a wide receiver. Haven Moses is the other wide receiver. Canada swinging into the left flat. Larry Canada to the 40-yard line. He picks up 4 yards on the play. It'll be third down and still 13 as Greg Bingham makes the stop.
I'll tell you another man involved in that play is number 71, middle nose guard. That's Kennard. You can see him right now. Now he's taking off. He knows that it's not a run. It's a screen pass. A little outlet play out here to the back. Gets involved. He does get an arm on him. Helps in the tackle. Is number 54, Greg Bingham, mops up and makes the stop.
Third down, 13.
Really good pursuit by Kennard.
Morton is swamped. He will be sacked. The third sack for the Houston defense. Andy Doris is the man who got it.
I think you can credit that whole defensive line for Houston because they all 4 in unison. They just swept back there and they got penetration. There was really no place for Morton to move. He couldn't even step up because the inside defensive linemen, they were getting penetration too. As you can see right now, taking a look at Culp 78, they're coming up. See, everybody is moving toward Morton. All 4 of them maintaining their lanes. When you do that, you're really going to put pressure on the quarterback.
The kick by Prestridge, Richard Ellender. Fields it at the 15-yard line. Looks for a block. Has one, reverses his field. He will lose a yard on the return. 12 minutes and 18 seconds. That is the time remaining third quarter. That punt covered 52 yards. We'll be back to the Astrodome in a moment.
It's been ages.
Can I buy it?
Allow me. 2 Michelob Lights.
Michelob makes a light beer? Perfect.
The rich, full-bodied taste of Michelob Light. Compare it to any beer you like.
You always did go first class.
Your ticket to San Francisco. Thank you.
San Francisco?
You too?
Michelob Light. Compare the taste to any beer you like.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to you about the Sony Betamax and an incredible feature called
They
Beta.
have a first down from their own 15-yard line. Mike Renfro in as a wide receiver. Burra is not in. The give is to Tim Wilson. And Wilson will pick up a yard to the 16. Be second down and 9. Don Latimer makes the tackle. So let's set up that offense for you. Pastorini's the quarterback with Tim Wilson basically the remaining back. You now have Guido Merkins and Mike Renfro as the wide receivers. Merkins also can work out of the backfield. Rich Castor, Mike Barber is tight end.
Good thing about Castor and what a dimension he adds offensively because he can not only play the flanker position, but he can play the tight end position.
Second down, 9. Renfro in motion. Play action. Pass is complete, 22-yard line to Tim Wilson, and Randy Gradishar makes the tackle. Now the offensive line for the Oilers, Leon Gray, David Carter, Carl Mock, Ed Fisher, and Conway Heyman.
Here he is faking. This is an unusual play. He's faking the ball to the back. Now the back goes down and turns around. He comes right back to him because generally what happens defensively, when you see the fake draw, you forget about that man. And they did that time. He was wide open, but after he made the catch, 53, Randy Gradishar made the tackle.
Third down and 1, 24-yard line. Oilers in their own territory. We are 4 minutes into the second half. Houston leads by 3, 10-7 over Denver. Carpenter in motion. Ronnie Coleman to the 25-yard line. This should be good enough for the first down. They may want to take a measurement to check it out. While they do that, let's look at the defense of the Denver Broncos. They have been going in this last series with a 4-man front of Barney Chavis, John Grant, Don Latimer, and Bryson Manor. Their 3 linebackers, Bob Swinson, Randy Gradishar, and Tom Jackson, with Lewis Wright and Steve Foley on the corners, Bill Thompson and Bernard Jackson at the defensive safety.
I'll tell you that last time Bill Thompson, the strong safety, really made a good play. He got great penetration, and yet the running back Coleman had to jump over him, just barely made the first down, but it was an excellent play by Bill Thompson, the strong safety. Number 67 going into the ball game. We now understand that that is Reuben Carter, who ordinarily wears the number 68. Maybe somebody tore his jersey off or somebody confiscated it.
It is a first down, 25-yard line. The Broncos go back to a 3-4 defensive set. Tim Wilson close to the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and 5 after a gain of 5. Barney Chavis and Randy Gradishar on the tackle. What does this do mentally to the Houston Oilers, knowing they're going to have to go the second half without Earl Campbell.
Well, I'll tell you what it should do for the offensive line. They know that they're going to really have to block because they're going to have to do it because Earl's not there to do it on his own. Wilson is a good back. He's a good runner and a good blocker, but he does not have the outside threat that Earl Campbell has.
And now Rob Carpenter is the remaining back on 2nd and 5, and Carpenter carries. He has the first down. Carpenter, 40-yard line. 10 yards on the play, first down. Randy Gradishar with a tackle.
That's what you do. You give the ball to Carpenter because he is really a good back. Comes in and he does the job, whether it be running with the football or as a pass receiver. He's going to accelerate right now. He makes up his mind where he's going to go. Now he's accelerating. He's moving. Going to get a hold of that ball firmly. Make sure that he doesn't cough up the ball. Number 53, the man responsible to make the stop, Randy Gradishar. He's getting a good, Carter makes a good block on him. He spins off of it, eventually gets off the ball from the tackle, but it's a first down for Houston.
For Carpenter, his first carry of the ball game. Play action. Pastorini rolls, pump fake, slips and falls. A loss of 11 yards on the play. And Pastorini is hurt.
He is really hurting.
So if Pastorini comes out, this means that the Oilers would have to go without Earl Campbell and without Dan Pastorini. I've noticed a lot of slipping today. I didn't know if it was nervousness in the first half, but we have it here again.
Well, I'll tell you, it could be the synthetic turf, that the shoes that they're wearing that's grabbing on the turf, and it's holding and they fall down.
And officially that will go in the books as a sack. We've got a timeout, 9 minutes and 6 seconds left to go. Third quarter, Houston leads by 3. Here's what happened to Dan Pastorini. Let's take another look and watch. And he did not stumble. It looks to me like it's just it is a muscle pull. Now watch him. He just pulls up and falls. Right there it goes. And he goes down. They're still working on him. We'll have an official report from the sideline on him, but they're still working on him here.
I don't think it had anything to do. You're right with his cleats grabbing on that turf.
No, not at all. He just went down, and then when he reached, and like he was grabbing his stomach.
Tell you one thing that he's doing, he's standing upright back here. You know, he's pumping the ball. Now you got to get your knees bent and get. But and you can take a look. Yeah, I think it's going to be. You'll see his right there. His left hand.
See the left hand. So what we suspect at this moment is that it's a groin pull.
Well, that's 2 of them. That's what Earl Campbell, with the injury that he had.
And if you've ever had like a groin pull or a hamstring that just rolls up on you, you just fall. There is no way that you can even move.
No, it's like being shot. You just go right down.
Yeah. All right, tonight it's a holiday special starring your favorite Disney characters on Disney's Wonderful World. And Fred Astaire stars in 7 magical roles, the man in the Santa Claus suit with Gary Berghoff, Bert Convy, and John Biner. Followed by a spotlight on the wild and woolly world of professional wrestling on primetime Sunday night on NBC. Tom Snyder still has not invited us to be guests on his show.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
See, when they were carrying him off, his foot was not even touching the ground, so he must not be able to put any weight on it at all.
He has been replaced by Gifford Nielsen, 6'4", 205 pounds, 25 years of age, from Brigham Young in his second year, the number 3 draft choice a year ago. Second down and 21. On the draw, Rob Carpenter gets the call. To the 33-yard line, a gain of 4 yards on the play. So it will be 3rd down and around 17 to go as Reuben Carter makes the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you, Denver did a good job closing that hole because it looked like there was a hole there, but the quickness of that Denver defense got there in a hurry. They're going to concede a few yards, but they're not going to give them the big play.
Report on Ken Burrow. The Oilers are becoming the walking wounded. He has re-injured for the 2nd time, that tailbone bruise. He may not come back in the ball game. 3rd down, 17. He could play if they need him. They're trying to hold him out. Rob Carpenter. And Carpenter is wrapped up at the 35-yard line, the 36-yard line. They will give them 3. Gradishar with the tackle.
You know how things change in a hurry, because it was Denver that was all banged up. Now it's the Houston Oilers. As you're taking a look at, Nielsen is going back and just pumping the ball out to the sidelines, hoping to pick up a 1st down.
And Rick Upchurch will be returning this kick. And there's Nielsen. He just gets pushed down. Now, Parsley will be kicking to Rick Upchurch. Upchurch has a bad ankle, he has a heel bruise, and he has a bruised Achilles.
And they're also down by 3 points, and they need to get back on the board.
Upchurch from the 15-yard line. He will have 8 yards on the return to the 23-yard line. 48 yards on the kick. Ronnie Coleman and Ted Thompson were there for the coverage team. We've got a timeout, 7:10. That is the time remaining. We are in the third quarter.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean. That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, because we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear.
Dan Pastorini on the sideline. The report from the sideline, it is a groin injury. They do not know the extent of it. It is very questionable if he can return. Denver first down from their own 23-yard line, trailing by 3. Morton's pass to Dave Preston is complete. He is out of bounds, far sideline, right on the first down marker. We'll have to see where the official spot it. Art Stringer was there, and don't forget New Year's Day on NBC to decide the national championship. Ohio State and USC, number 1 and number 3, and then it's the pageantry of the Orange Bowl. Teams ranked 4th and 5th in the nation, Oklahoma and Florida State. So you've got the top numbers on NBC on New Year's Day. It is a first down, 33-yard line. Denver in their own territory. 7 minutes, time remaining. Third quarter, Riley Odom changes his mind. It slips away. Bottom of the screen. Larry Canada. Canada is close to the first down. So in this series, Denver is able to move on the Houston defense.
Well, that's right. They're moving that ball on the ground, which Houston does not want to happen. Taking a look at number 35 is Canada, 46. Leading him out. Now he's running with authority right there.
A gain of 11 yards on the play, 44-yard line, back-to-back first down. The second back through is Dave Preston, and this time the Oiler defense answers the call at the 45-yard line. A gain of 1. It is 2nd and 9 as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KTAL-TV, Channel 6, Texarkana, Shreveport.
This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We're in the Astrodome. It's playoff time in the National Football League. We have 6 minutes left to go, third quarter. Houston leading Denver by 3 points, 10-7. But the Oilers will be going in the second half without their quarterback, Dan Pastorini, and without their great running back, Earl Campbell. Morton waits and waits, and is knocked away. Good defensive play by Vernon Perry.
He had all day to throw that football, which is an indication that downfield the receivers are covered because he scanned the whole secondary looking for somebody to throw to. It's good blocking by that offensive line of the Denver Broncos. He's trying to go to Riley Odom's number 88, 32. Perry is there to make the stop or make the knock the ball down. You take a look at Robert Brazil, 52, and there's Odom's number 88, playing with a broken bone in his arm. Now, you got to be tough to do that.
Morton, 67% of his passes have been completed. 10 of 15 for 84 yards. Craig to throw again. Far side into coverage. Vernon Perry again for the defense. Almost picked it off.
He was going for Haven Moses. Now, he has not used Haven very much in this ballgame so far. And that pass, I'm sure Perry would say to himself, I should have caught it because it was right in his hand.
So Craig Morton comes out. And Luke Prestridge will be kicking. Richard Ellender sets up for the return at the 10-yard line. Ellender feels it at the 8. Back to the 10. He slips. He's down. 14-yard line. It will give him 6 yards on the return, and Jim Ryan was there following that punt of 47 yards. We'll take a timeout with 5:28 left to go. We're in the third quarter. Houston leads by 3. Bum Phillips, the head coach of the Houston Oilers, and Red Miller, the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Two outstanding men and neat people.
Well, they're taking a look at Dan Pastorini right now, and that's the major concern. One of the two, I say, Earl Campbell is not there. He's not going to be playing this afternoon. It doesn't look like that Dan will be back either.
So Houston operates with Gifford Nielsen at quarterback. He delivers to Rob Carpenter. Carpenter to the 23-yard line. He picks up 9 yards on the play. It is 2nd and 1, and Randy Gradishar makes the tackle.
He not only made the tackle, he almost took his head off because Gradishar. Here it is right now. Big hole. Fine blocking by that offensive line of the Houston Oilers. And there's the hole. That's what you're looking at. But right now, he's being collared by 53 Randy Gradishar. Taking a look at him right now. As he's roaming along that lane. He does not want the blockers to get to him. He's quick enough that they didn't. He made a good tackle.
2nd down and 1. Tim Wilson. And he is dropped by Tom Jackson. Does not pick up the first down. May actually lose half a yard. We'll mark it for a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Tom Jackson does really an excellent job of getting penetration. He's done that several times in the ball game this afternoon. Sometimes he's made the tackle, but even if he doesn't make the tackle, he disrupts things in that backfield and creates problems for the running back.
Tim Wilson, 6 carries in the ball game for 16 yards. The Broncos now go with a 4-man front. 3rd down, actually a yard and a half to go for the first down. Carpenter's in motion. The pitch is to Ronnie Coleman. Coleman has the first down. 27-yard line. He picks up 4 on the play.
Wilson, a good block. The running back with the running mate of Coleman made a good block at the point of attack. Enabled him to spring that hole open, breaking through. And here he's to pitch out. Number 45 right there, a block on Thompson. That enabled him, giving him enough room to break through and picking up a good yardage in the first down.
So Houston has the first down at their own 27-yard line. The Oilers lead it by 3, 10-7. 3:35 time remaining in the 3rd quarter at the Astrodome. Rob Carpenter. Carpenter has 2 yards to the 29. It will be 2nd down and 8 for this 24-year-old youngster. Played his collegiate ball at Miami of Ohio. He was a number 3 draft choice in 1977, and the tackle was made by Bryson Manor.
Pastorini is moving a lot better. I said he wouldn't be back, but he's moving a lot better than he was just a couple of minutes ago. About all they can do really is tape that area down there and restrict the movement. But we saw him last year. We didn't think he could even shoot up and get out on the field. And he played an excellent football game against both Miami and New England.
2nd down and 8. Nielsen to throw. Drops it off. Wilson. Wilson to the 35-yard line. Lewis Wright makes the tackle. A pickup of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and still 2 yards to go for the first down.
You know, you look at the time right now, 2:33 and counting down in this 3rd period. Right now for Houston, you just see Gifford Nielsen just dropping it off to Tim Wilson. He's looking to see if there's any area to run in. There isn't, because he's going to be met by 3 or 4 of the Denver Broncos. What they need to do now is get a couple of 1st and 10s to run out some of that clock. Keep that ball away from Denver.
3rd down and 2. Rob Carpenter is dropped for a loss at the 32-yard line by Steve Foley. Now, we've been talking about the injuries to Pastorini and the injuries to Earl Campbell. Well, Steve Foley is playing with back spasms that bothered him throughout the morning. Rick Upchurch, who will be set on this kick return, is bothered by a very bad heel, and Craig Morton, the Denver quarterback, is playing with full stomach muscle.
Riley Odoms is out there with a broken arm. So that shows you how important this football game is to these people on the field on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And that was an excellent play that last time by Steve Foley.
Cliff Parsley will be kicking to Rick Upchurch. 1.5 minutes left to go in the quarter. Boy, they're using all of the 30-second clock. 3 seconds left on the clock at the snap. Upchurch fields it at the 22-yard line to the 30.
Look
35.
Out.
Good return by Rick Upchurch. Carter Hartwig finally got him at the 39-yard line. A return of 17 yards on the play. Next weekend, NBC hosts the AFC's divisional playoffs as the Pittsburgh Steelers, San Diego Chargers, Miami Dolphins, and the winner of today's game take a giant step towards the AFC Championship. That's all next Saturday and Sunday here on NBC.
And you know, the players of all of those teams are watching this with a great deal of interest to see what happens as far as the outcome of this game is concerned.
Denver from their own 39-yard line, trailing in the ball game 10-7. Otis Armstrong. Armstrong, right side, fights his way out to the 47 or the 48-yard line. He may have lost possession of the football there for a moment. He comes up with it as Ted Washington and Alvin Bethea were there to stop him. He goes for a gain of almost 10 yards on the play.
And he had some excellent blocking by that offensive line. Paul Howard, number 60, and also Riley Odom's 88. They were all out in front of that ball carrier making blocks. And that's the reason that play worked so well, besides the fact that Armstrong did a good job of running with the football.
2nd down and 1, just outside the Denver 48-yard line. 32 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Dave Preston. Preston to the 45-yard line of Houston. A gain of 7 yards on the play. And a 1st down as Art Stringer and Mike Reinfeldt make the tackle.
There are certain times during a ball game when your offensive unit, particularly the offensive line, has to say, hey, we've got to do it. And you're taking a look right now of a great hole provided for 46 Preston to run through. And the reason there's that hole there is because of the blocking. Curly Culp is 78. He took the wrong side. Ryan did a good job of keeping him away from the ball carrier. That's why you pick up yardage, because the big men up front do the job.
The gun sounds. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. So 3 are in the books. 15 minutes remain. We'll be back. This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We start the 4th quarter. Denver has the ball on the Houston 45-yard line. 1st down and 10.
Reverse.
Upchurch is in trouble, slips the tackle. Back to the line of scrimmage. He will battle for 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. And the Houston defense almost turned it into a big play and a loss of about 10 or 11.
The great speed of Rick Upchurch prevented a loss of some 10 yards on that play, which really would have hurt the chances of the Denver Broncos. He's hurt, I guess, but he surely didn't look like anything was bothering him on that play, because he really accelerated when the man was trying to make the tackle.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 through the first 3 quarters. Denver's total offense 151 yards. Houston's total offense 240 yards. As Armstrong gets a call, there's a flag down on the play. Otis goes to the 31-yard line, but the marker was dropped way back at the 48. That should be holding against the Broncos. Usually you can tell in that situation where the flag is dropped on a running play.
Well, that's a tough break for Denver Broncos, because looking at Otis Armstrong, Charlie really seems to be running well. You know, I know in the last few years perhaps he hasn't run with the authority that he did when he had the great year that he had when he led this team in rushing over 1,000 yards, but right now he's running very well.
Number 71 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty.
Holding on Claudia Minor.
And here you are taking a look at this play. Number 71, Claudia Minor does have his left hand full of blue jersey.
Full of jersey.
Of the Houston Oilers.
2nd down and 17. Back at the Denver 48-yard line. Oilers lead by 3, 10-7. Play action.
Screen.
Incomplete to Otis Armstrong. The pass was a little off target, but Armstrong also was surrounded by Houston defense.
Good thing he didn't catch it, because had he caught the ball, he'd have been nailed right there. Bingham was right there to make the stop had he made the catch. And there, if he had made the catch, there's a possibility with a hard hit he might have fumbled the football.
The Oilers now have 6 men in the secondary. Looking at 3rd down, 17. There's Dan Pastorini, pulled groin muscle. The report is that he would not be back in the 2nd half. Earl Campbell is out with an injury. He will not be back in the 2nd half. And Craig Morton is playing hurt. 3rd down, 17. 5 on the pattern. Incomplete. Jensen, the intended receiver, went through his hands, and he was dropped immediately.
And he is very slowly getting up off the turf. He really took a hard shot on that. Number 54, Greg Bingham, the linebacker, is the man that made the hit. He's coming up right here. And you can see the position that Bingham is in. That is called a football position. His legs or his feet are about shoulders width, and he was really ready to deliver a blow. And he did.
They're still working on Jim Jensen. Clock is stopped with 14 minutes, 37 seconds. left to go in the ball game. This is an official's timeout, not a team timeout. When play resumes, it will be 4th down and 17.
Here it is. Morton going over to Jensen right there. And he got him up around the, I think, around the chin area, too, Charlie. That,
right on the Adam's apple. That hurts, too. Richard Ellender now set to return the punt of Luke Prestridge.
We were talking about a physical football game the first half, and it was going to be a physical football game the second half. It is, because it's all here on the line.
Ellender at the 8-yard line. Ellender to the 15. Out to the 18-yard line. Richard Ellender with 10 yards on the return following that punt of 44 yards. We've got a timeout. Houston leads by 3.
Campbell, he generally wears number 34. Now he's wearing, looks like a sweatsuit or something. He is out of the ball game, will not play the second half.
Houston has a first down from their own 18-yard line. Bob Carpenter gets the call. Bryson Manor is there for the Denver Bronco defense. It'll be a loss of a yard on the play, and it will be 2nd down and 11.
Taking a look at Dan Pastorini. He is walking now, which is a lot better than what happened to him before, but he's walking stiff-legged.
Mike Renfro is wide to the near side. 2 tight ends on the set. Play action. Gifford Nielsen throws into coverage. It is bounced around, and then they will rule the interception. The ball never touched the ground. Big turnover for the Denver Broncos.
51, Bob Swenson at the bottom of the pile coming up. He may have been the man that came up with the interception. Number 51, Bob Swenson.
So the ball was tipped and then bounced around, and he slid underneath it.
Play action pass. He's looking downfield, looking to go to somebody. He knows he has to get rid of it because pressure is coming. The ball was thrown too high. Had that ball been thrown lower, of course, the ball was thrown low. He's throwing it right to Swenson. You see the other, Randy Gradishaw is the man that tipped the ball originally.
At the Houston 26-yard line, first down. Otis Armstrong. Armstrong does not get back to the line of scrimmage as he is turned away by Andy Doris and Elvin Bethea. A loss of a yard, maybe 2. It will be 2nd down. 13 minutes, 20 seconds left to go.
Jim Turner, yeah, on the sideline. Jim, of course, we talked about the other people. Jim Turner's got a groin injury. That must be the specialty of the week, that all these players have that type of an injury.
Armstrong, Denver's leading rusher, with 34 yards and 10 carries. 2nd down and 11. Morton drops it off right side. Pass is complete to Preston, and Dave is out of bounds at the 16-yard line. J.C. Wilson had the coverage, and he could well pick up the first down along the way.
Morton has had to go to his backs because they're putting pressure on him. That defensive front 3 and sometimes defensive front 4 is getting a lot of pressure. They're making penetration back, and he's getting rid of the football. Fortunately for the Denver Broncos, he's picking up those backs in the flat. Now that's 8, 9 yards on a clip. You'll take that anytime you can get it.
And it is a first down at the 16-yard line with 12:51 remaining. Denver trailing by 3. Jensen, who was clotheslined a moment ago, is the ball carrier, but Ted Washington drops him this time. And did you notice that his old friend Greg Bingham was also there? He will lose yardage. A loss of 3 to the 19.
That was really a good play by 59 Ted Washington. He's going out of the ball game now because they take him out in passing situations, and this is definitely a passing situation for the Denver Broncos. But that was a good play by Ted Washington.
2nd down, 13. Haven Moses goes wide to the far side. Rick Upchurch is wide to the near side. 4 on the pattern. Pump fake, he is sacked. That is the 4th sack of the ball game for the Oilers. Curly Culp got it.
Curly got to him and brought him down, but as I'm saying, that front 4 in that case of the Houston Oilers. They're really getting penetration, putting a lot of heat, a lot of pressure on Morton. You can see right now they're all going. They're all making that penetration back there, and there's nowhere for Morton to go. He cannot step up in the pocket because there is no pocket.
A loss of 9 yards on the play. It will be third down and 22. Now the line of scrimmage is a 28-yard line. They are out of field goal range for Jim Turner.
Morton's got to pick up some yardage here to get back in the field goal range of Jim Turner.
He needs 9 yards. He will be sacked again. That is the 5th sack. Ken Kennard got him. Number 71.
When you have to throw the football, when the defense knows that, the defensive linemen up front, they only have one consideration. That is get to the quarterback. And they can really tee off. They don't have to worry about any run or draws or screens. Go after the quarterback. And that's what happened on the last 2 plays.
Now they will go with their backup kicker, Fred Steinfort. An attempt of 50 yards. Steinfort came to the Denver Broncos only 10 days ago. This is his first field goal attempt. He has the distance. It is no good. It's Karam's off of the goalpost.
It hit the crossbar.
Oh, my. From 50 yards away. And that was for the tie. So the Oilers take over at the line of scrimmage, the 33-yard line.
You can see coming up now. Here it is. Hits the crossbar. Unfortunately, it does not kick in. It kicks out.
11:08 left to go. Oilers lead by 3. Came that close to tying up the ball game.
You're going to take a look at it right now. Left-footed kicker's got plenty of leg. You take a look. You'll see the reaction. Norris Weiss, number 14, right there, holding his headgear, saying, can't get a break.
Houston from their own 33-yard line. First down, 11:08 left to go. Skipper Nielsen, the quarterback, hands off to Rob Carpenter. Carpenter to the 37-yard line, a pickup of 4. It'll be second down and 6, and Barney Chavis makes the tackle. Earlier this year, the Houston Oilers won in overtime. Tony Fritz, field goal attempt. Same situation, hit the upright, but Karam's through.
I believe that was the Cincinnati game in overtime. And, of course, when you score in overtime, the game is over. To hit to the upright and skid it in. That time, unfortunately for Denver, it hit it. Didn't make it.
Second down and 6. Rob Carpenter. Carpenter close to the first down. Randy Gradishar makes the tackle at the 43-yard line. Let's go to Mike Adamle for a report.
Okay, we have an injury report from the sideline, Charlie and Lenny. Well, Campbell, Pastorini, and Kenborough all have groin pulls. They say that Burrow and Pastorini can play again. The team doctor did. However, Dante says he cannot lift his leg, and it's highly unlikely that he'll come back in the ball game.
All right, thank you, Mike. It was a first down at the 43-yard line. Houston in their own territory. Oilers lead by 3, moving on the 10-minute mark. Time remaining in the ball game. Mike Renfro in motion. Rob Carpenter. 49-yard line. 6 yards on first down. It will be second and 4. Don Latimer makes the tackle.
Houston has been saying all year, we are not a one-man football team, not just Earl Campbell. They're definitely having an opportunity to prove it this afternoon because Campbell is out, Pastorini is out, and their big threat, long ball threat, Kenny Burrow, he is also out.
Second and 4, Tim Wilson comes in. Houston sideline. Carpenter now 9 carries, 39 yards. Second down 4. Tim Wilson. Wilson's in trouble. He just leans into Denver territory to the Denver 49-yard line. He picks up 2 yards. It'll be third down and 2, and we now have 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Barney Chavis, Randy Gradishar for the defense.
Well, here they come. A couple of tight ends in the ball game. Rucker coming into the contest. This is a short yardage situation for the Houston Oilers. It is a very, very big play for both sides because now you are looking at the clock. 8:52 and counting down. A first down for Houston right here would occupy a couple of more minutes on that clock, regardless of whether they make a first down or not.
Gifford Nielsen, the quarterback for the Oilers. Ronnie Coleman, the remaining back. Play action, a flag is down. The pass is juggled by Conrad Rucker and dropped. It is incomplete, but there were 2 flags. Bernard Jackson was there for the defense. Now let's go down to Mike Adamle for another report.
Charlie, once again, the prognosis on Earl Campbell's, he's got a mild groin pull. The doctor said he should play. I emphasize should play next week against San Diego. That's how much confidence the Oilers have in Rob Carpenter and Ronnie Coleman.
We were trying to get the call from the referee. Thank you for that report, Mike. Of course, Earl Campbell could play next week, but first they have to get there, or there might not be any next week.
Denver Broncos.
Because here's what's happened. If Houston wins, and next week Houston's at San Diego, Miami at Pittsburgh. If Denver wins, and Miami's at San Diego, and Denver is at Pittsburgh, and the loser, they go home for Christmas. Cliff Marsley will be kicking, and Rick Upchurch is set for the return. It was 4th down and 2. The penalty against Houston was refused. Going for the corner, and it is out of bounds. The official stopped at the 14-yard line. Out of bounds at the 14-yard line. 8:24. Time remaining in the ball game following that 35-yard punt. Houston holds on by 3.
They make this game the battle of wounded groin. 3 Oilers have left the game with groin injuries. The 0-0. Kenny Pearl pulled his groin on this play. Play broken up by Louis Wright. Then the Oilers lost the services of their great running back, number 34, Earl Campbell. Campbell goes into the end zone and scores, but fumbles the ball. He attempts to recover, and in the process, he hurts his groin. He is out with a mild groin pull. To make matters worse, Pastorini went back to pass. He tries to get out of the pocket. He slips on the AstroTurf. He, too, pulls his groin. All 3 should play next week, should they beat the Denver Broncos this afternoon.
So those players remaining, we will just continue on with the ball game. Denver, first down for their own 14-yard line. Dave Preston, their leading receiver, 4 receptions for 40. Haven Moses, the intended receiver, it is incomplete. So bring it back to the Denver 14-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 10. Haven Moses has only 1 reception in the ball game. There have been a lot of injuries on both sides. Ironically, Denver came in with injuries before the ball game. The Houston Oilers felt before this ball game they were as healthy as they had been throughout the year, and yet in this game they have lost Ken Burrow, they have lost Dan Pastorini, and Earl Campbell.
You know, that's how things change around, because last week against Philadelphia, head coach Bum Phillips rested many of his ball players, including Earl Campbell, so that they would be healthy for this game.
2nd down and 10. Larry Canada, the ball carrier. Canada breaking tackles and fighting his way outside the 25 to the 27-yard line. A pickup of 13 yards on the play. It will be a first down. Mike Reinfeldt makes the tackle, and Canada has 27 yards rushing on 3 carries.
Saw right there the number 71 for the Houston Oilers. Kennard took to the right side, and that center just moved him that way, and that opened the hole originally, but it was fine running by Larry Canada to pick up that 13 yards. And once again, we're talking about injuries. Looking down on the field, a Denver Bronco.
Paul Howard is down.
Paul Howard, the offensive guard, is down.
So we'll take a timeout. 7:59 left to go in the ball game. Oilers lead it 10-7. On the left is Jim Turner. For many years, one of the premier field goal kickers in the National Football League. On the right is Fred Steinfort, whose attempt to tie up the ball game caromed off of the upright. Steinfort shows that he can boot it from 50 yards away, or maybe 55. Denver can go for the tie. They can play the short field. Interception, Greg Bingham. Greg Bingham with the key play of the second half for the Houston Oilers. Glenn Hyde made the tackle, saving the touchdown. The Oilers have the ball deep in Denver territory. 7:53 left.
Greg Bingham against the Miami Dolphins. Many will remember that when he came up with the Bob Greasy interception, sealing the game for the Houston Oilers. This time, he was in the right spot. Now, Morton trying to go inside on a slant pattern, and right there, 54 Bingham reading it all the way, comes up with the interception. This is rather ironic. You see Hyde making a game or a touchdown-saving tackle. It's ironic because Bingham goes out a lot of times when the other team is supposed to pass. I'm sure he's going to be telling them, wait a minute, I do have good hands. I can catch the ball.
At the Denver 20-yard line, first down. That is the first turnover that Denver has committed in the ball game, and Rob Carpenter gets the call. He is turned back by Barney Chavis. It'll be a gain of a yard to the 19-yard line. It'll be second down and 9. Greg Morton.
Greg Morton last week, unfortunately, threw 4 interceptions against the San Diego Chargers. This time that interception really hurts because it puts the Houston Oilers in excellent field position. But on the other side, somebody is smiling about it. Out of Purdue University from Chicago, Illinois, Greg Bingham.
Second down and 9. Carpenter. Carpenter spins his way close to the 10-yard line. Rob Carpenter has become the hero of the second half.
I'll tell you, you know, when you talk about depth, this is what you want. You want a man like Carpenter. Now, he did so much of that on his own. There was a good blocking up front, a good hole, but he did an awful lot on his own, particularly when he got hit. Spinning out of the tackle, picking up valuable yardage. First and 10 right now, 10-yard line. You see number 26 is Carpenter. Now, take a look. There is the hole. He's cutting back. Good blocking up front. Now, he's going to get hit. This is what it means by maintaining your balance and keep on moving.
At the 10-yard line, it is a first down. A report on Paul Howard, offensive guard Broncos. Injured ankle, may not be back. A gain of a yard. Carpenter again gets the call. He goes to the 9-yard line. Reuben Carter makes the tackle, and it will be second down and 9 or second down and goal to go.
Might mention Reuben Carter we did earlier, but he is ordinarily, his number is 68. And for some reason or other, he's wearing 67 in the ball game this afternoon.
Second down and 9. Just inside the 9-yard line, Greg Bingham, number 54. In his 7th year, taken in the 4th round of the draft in 1973, had picked off the interception. He had 3 interceptions during the regular season. The pitch is to Rob Carpenter, and Carpenter goes to the 6-yard line, where it will be third down.
It's not surprising that they are running to their left. One of the reasons is number 74, Leon Gray, is the offensive left tackle of the Houston Oilers. He is an all-pro. When you get in tight situations, you go with your strength. And on that left side, a very powerful man is that man, number 74, Leon Gray.
It is third down, and in reality, goal to go. They could pick up a first down, but it would be about an inch away from the goal line. So it is here and a field goal attempt if they don't score. Carpenter diving to about the 3-yard line. It'll be fourth down, and Tony Fritz will come in to add 3 more as Reuben Carter and Tom Jackson make the stop. 4 minutes, 50 seconds, time remaining in the game, and the clock continues on its inexorable march.
Fortunately for Houston, this man who wears number 16 does not have an injury because he has really been something this year. 84% of his field goal attempts he has made. 7 for 7 in this area.
And he personally has won 5 ball games during the regular season. Nielsen to hold from the 10-yard line, an attempt of 20 yards. High snap. You can tell by the crowd reaction that it is good.
It is now 8 for 8, and now a 6-point lead for Houston over Denver.
And Tony Fritz is 2 for 2 in this ball game. Houston 13, Denver 7. We'll be back.
When you look at the TC3, you're looking at the engineer.
18 seconds left to go in the ball game. Rick Upchurch is the deep back in the return. The 2 head coaches, Red Miller and Bum Phillips, and Tony Fritz will be kicking off. There's a lot of emotion in this ball game on both sides of the line. And with ball players going down all over the field, for the Houston Oilers and for the Denver Broncos with the bumps and bruises and the full muscles from Denver's side. They're now on offense. Craig Morton is playing with an injury. Rick Upchurch is playing with an injury. Riley Odoms is playing with a broken arm. Steve Foley is playing with a bad back at the Denver Broncos.
You go to the other side, Charlie, and there's Dan Pastorini. He's hurting. A lot of people are hurting, but I think on the other side, the people who are replacing them. Now, this is what is the emotional part about a football team, that it isn't a one-man team, that you have Carpenter coming in and doing an excellent job, Nielsen coming in and doing a good job. Now, this really helps a football team if they come out on the winning side of this football game for the Houston Oilers, knowing that if somebody goes down, you have somebody that can replace them and do the job.
Also, Paul Howard is out. Offensive line replaced by Glenn Hyde. Can the emotion of the Denver Broncos and their Bronco-mania overcome the emotion here in the Astrodome? So you can color the rest of this ball game with a big E and name it emotion.
There was a mix-up on that play at that time because Morton was looking for somebody to either fake it to, and you can see by the expression on his face that something went wrong. Somebody went the wrong way.
Ken Kennard and Jesse Baker were there. Morton has completed 11 of 21 for 97 yards. A quick look at the clock, 3:55, and time is counting down on the Denver Broncos. They trail by 6 points, but a touchdown and an extra point could win it for Denver. Second down and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Otis Armstrong. Armstrong around the corner, hits upfield. Armstrong almost breaks it. He is bumped out of bounds at the Denver 49-yard line, a pickup of 15 on the play, and Mike Reinfeldt saved the touchdown.
Do not count anybody out in this football game when you have two outstanding teams like you have in Denver and Houston. Perry misses the tackle. Armstrong with his great speed, another great block downfield before they run him out of bounds. You were right about an emotional game. It's an emotional game on both sides for both teams.
3:35, time remaining. Denver now, first down, their own 49-yard line. Morton to throw since 4 on the pattern. Sideline is there and out of bounds. It is Riley Odom, the man who is playing with a broken arm. And that you can see the cast on the left arm. 5 weeks ago, the bones were broken.
I know doctors have told me that it takes at least 6 weeks for any bone to heal. He also played last week, you may recall.
That is his second reception of the ball game. He caught one last week.
Really
14
an
yards against San Diego. Second down and 6. 3.5 minutes left to go. Odoms comes out. Denver has to go for the touchdown. Quick pass is complete. Haven Moses. Moses to the 30-yard line. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Vernon Perry and Mike Reinfeldt stop him there.
Taking a look now, he's looking for Moses all the way, and a good catch. Watch this move by Haven Moses, getting out of a jam. Now that's about the second or third pass that Haven has caught. I know that here it is right here. A little stop. Morton, the timing was great because the ball was there just when he turned his head to locate the football.
Just outside the 28-yard line of Houston, first down. Dave Preston. Preston will get 1, maybe 2 yards, and that is it, as Curly Culp makes the tackle. 2 minutes, 43 seconds left to go. Mark it at the 27-yard line. It is second down and 9.
This is it for both teams right here, getting down near the 2-minute warning. For the Denver Broncos, they need a touchdown. They can't be worrying about any field goals. They've got to get the touchdown and the extra point to win this football game. On the other side, for the Houston Oilers, this is it. Almost at the 25-yard line. They're about, what, the 27 or 28-yard line. Broncos.
Second down and 9. Houston 27-yard line. The crowd on their feet at the Astrodome. Fumble on the snap. Boy, did he get it? Yes, he does. The Broncos retain possession, but it will be third down.
Taking a look, he never gets possession of the football. It could be that the center was moving as he was snapping the ball, which would change the angle of the snap. Morton had to dive in after the football. They also have another man down on the field at the present time. It looked like it's a Houston Oilers football player.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. left to go in the ball game. This is an injury timeout, an official's timeout, not charged to either team. Now let's go down to Mike Adamle.
Charlie, in a game played earlier today, in case you haven't heard, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Chicago Bears 27-17, packed house, Veterans Stadium. First quarter, Jaworski back to pass. Harold Carmichael, touchdown on the day, 110 yards. The Eagles led at that point 7-0. Phipps had a chance to tie. Here he's got a lot of time to pass and finds a wide open Ricky Watts, the rookie from Tulsa, but he drops the ball on the 15-yard lines. They can't convert. Phipps brings the Bear right back. Across the middle, Walter Payton, number 34. He scampers 31 yards all the way down to the 4-yard line. One play later, he scores 7-7. Halftime 17-10. Payton gets loose 85 yards. It looks like a touchdown to tie up the game or put him ahead 24-10. It is called back. Illegal procedure against Brian Baschnagel. Again, Phipps, another scoring opportunity. This time the ball is picked off by veteran cornerback Bobby Howard. Then finally, the icing on the cake, Jaworski passes to Billy Camfield, number 37. The second-year man out of Kansas goes 63 yards for the score. The Eagles win it 27-17. They play Tampa Bay next week.
Ken Kennard was the injured Oiler. He has come out. Curly Culp has come back in. It will be 3rd down and 8. 2:07 the clock on the countdown. The Broncos will let it go down to the 2-minute mark. And right now, Lynn, it's not necessarily who wins today, but who survives this football game.
Well, that's right. The doctor is going to be the most important man for both of these teams. Find out what's going to happen, who's going to be able to show up at the next game.
2-minute warning. We'll take a timeout. Houston 13, Denver 7. Two minutes to go in this ball game. We want to take an opportunity to thank Ed Gresham and Gene Arnold, our spotters, and Joe Costanza, as always, our statistician. Thank you, gentlemen. Dan Pastorini out of the ball game. He's been replaced by Gifford Nielsen. But right now, you can color this story orange on the next 2 downs. 3rd down and 8. The Broncos trail by 6. Armstrong sweep right side. Otis cuts inside. He will come up still 4, maybe 5 yards short of the 1st down as Greg Bingham and Carter Hartwig made the tackle. Did a flag go down on the far side? It will be holding against the Denver Broncos, the one thing they could not afford to do.
Oh, boy, you mentioned mistakes early in this ball game, I think, in the second half, and how important it is for teams not to make mistakes, and in particular making mistakes at crucial times in the ball game. That was a crucial mistake right there. It was 3rd down. Now they're going to take them back. They're going to accept this penalty, take it back. It'll still be 3rd down. It's going to be a long way to go, though.
It would be 4th down and 5 or 3rd down and 18.
I'd go with the 3rd and 18.
The holding was a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 17.
Offensive holding, number 65, still 3rd down.
Holding on Glenn Hyde, who's replaced Paul Howard, who is out of the ball game.
Coming up for Denver now. This is a big down. They don't necessarily have to get all the yardage back, but they've got to get some of it.
Greg Morton. Morton, flag is down. Morton is down. That is the 6th sack for the Houston Oilers. Curly Culp got him. 40-yard line, and there was a flag.
Well, if that flag is on Denver, and it looks like that it is, I'm sure that they're going to refuse the penalty, give him one more shot at it with 1:49 remaining in this football game. You could see that defensive front four of the Houston Oilers, they knew that he had to throw the football. That's what that penalty cost them. They knew they were in a definite passing situation, and they just teed off.
Holding against Denver refused.
Here it is. You're taking a look right now as Morton goes down. Curly Culp at the bottom of that pile.
We've got a timeout. It is Houston 13 and Denver 7. 1:49 left in the game. Paul Howard has come back in the ball game at offensive right guard for the Denver Broncos. It is 4th down and 22. 1:49 left in the ball game. The whole season for the Broncos could well rest on this one play.
You're absolutely right. This is the season. This is 1979 for the Denver Broncos. They must pick up a first down.
Four-man rush. Morton goes deep. Here's the man. Watson knocked away in the end zone. Vernon Perry. And Watson was open for just a couple of steps.
That was the play for the Houston Oilers. There you can see the elation of the defensive backs. 32 is Vernon Perry. Made a good play on the ball. Morton pass with a good throw. Perry was there to knock it down.
And listen to these fans.
Here we are taking a look at Morton going back. He's got to go up top. He's got to go deep, hoping for a completion or an interference call. Kenny had just a step, but there it is, 32. Vernon Perry, rookie from Jackson State, breaking up the play.
So Houston takes over on their own 40-yard line. Denver has 2 more timeouts remaining. Skipper Nielsen hands off to Rob Carpenter, a gain of a couple of yards. Denver will take a timeout. And going to work is Steve Watson, a free agent from Temple with 4.5 speed. And then Perry saves the day for the Houston Oilers. We'll be back.
And don't.
We are back. It is second down and 8. Rob Carpenter. Carpenter dives for just a couple of more yards. It will be third down, and Denver will take another timeout, stopping the clock with 1:30 left to go in the ball game. This gives us an opportunity to thank our executive producer of NBC football throughout the year, Don Omeyer, our coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast has been produced by George Finkel, directed by Ted Nathanson. Technical director, Bruce Berquist. Associate producer, William Peters. Associate director, Richard Klein.
Charlie, I'm going to tell you what an emotional situation this is for Houston. That man right there on your left, Gifford Nielsen. Now, he really has to be elated because here it is, Pastorini, the #1 quarterback, is knocked out of the ball game. He has come in and done really a fine job for Houston in guiding them in the second half. When you take into consideration, you lose Kenny Burrow, their receiver, who is the big game breaker, and the main man, 34, Earl Campbell. They are out of it, and you have people like Rob Carpenter coming into the ball game and doing such a tremendous job. Really gives them an emotional lift. You can tell by the fans here and the noise that they're making and how they feel that it is such an emotional football game. It isn't just a bunch of big men out there playing a game. There's a lot of emotion involved.
Third down and 6. Tim Wilson. Wilson does not pick up the first down. It will be 4th down and 3 yards to go. Denver does not have a timeout remaining. Reuben Carter makes the last tackle. But they will have one more opportunity for this man, Craig Morton. Boy, what a ball game he has played, though. Well, they did not think this morning that he might play at all because of the bull muscles in the stomach.
I knew he would when I saw him 2 years ago when he had a leg injury that kept him in the hospital during the week, getting treatment. The day before the game, he showed up and did a masterful job leading Denver to victory.
Marsley will take all of the time on the 30-second clock. They barely get it off. Upchurch is set for the return. He calls for a fair catch. He goes out of bounds. That will stop the clock. There are 39 seconds left in the season for the Denver Broncos. That punt covered some 36 yards. And now, can Denver weave the magic wand just one more time?
They need a touchdown. A field goal is not good enough. That means they've got to go in for the score. They have no timeouts remaining. Houston is going to have 5 or 6 defensive backs in that ball game, playing back and making sure that they're not able to get the big bomb, because what they want to do, they'll let him catch the football, make the tackle, and hope that maybe they can't get off the next play, because they have just 39 seconds remaining.
Denver must go 80 yards in 39 seconds. Morton has completed 13 of 24 passes. Incomplete. It will be second down and 10 back at the 20-yard line, now with 34 seconds on the clock.
He's got to hope now. This is a hope situation. One or two things: that you get a big break and somebody makes a tremendous play, or Houston makes a mistake and commits a defensive error that would stop the clock and give them a first down.
Second down and 10. Denver's ball, their own 20-yard line. 34 seconds left to go in the game.
Defensive backs of Houston, they are 20 yards deep lining up off the ball.
Pump fake. Morton throws far side. It's caught. Upchurch has it. Upchurch is running in the secondary. Upchurch to the 45-yard line. A Denver player is down. Morton has the hurry-up offense. 25 yards on the play. J.C. Wilson made the tackle. The time continues. The clock continues to move.
Dave Studdard was injured on the play. Finally gets back to the line of scrimmage.
It goes out of bounds. The clock is out of time. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. The officials say that is it. Houston wins 13-7. So Houston will be playing San Diego. Miami will be at Pittsburgh. And now stay tuned for Disney's Wonderful World over most of these stations. On the Pacific Coast and most mountain time zone stations, Disney will be seen at its regular time.